RAMBAGH Palace has a problem. Luckily, that problem is simply that it makes every other hotel seem just a little bit inadequate. We're going to explore every inch of this literal royal palace, so let's get into it. Welcome to Jaipur. If you'd like to know the exact rate that I paid for my stay, or my next 5 videos in queue, please check out the description below. And if you're new here, hi there and welcome to the channel. My name is Kevin. The internet needs more honest content, plain and simple, and that's why I'm here. I make airline trip reports, high-end hotel reviews, and cruise ship tours as well. I self-fund all of my videos and I don't alert any company that I'm coming, because I want to have as normal of an experience as possible. That means that in this video, I'm going to give you nothing more than my own personal, honest, and unbiased opinion. To date, I've had the pleasure of staying at 17 luxury hotels and resorts in India. Some might say I'm quite fond of them. It's been argued here and a multitude of other places that at the very core of what makes Indian hospitality different is the service that you receive. I honestly don't think that that's even up for debate. As I was on my way to RAMBAGH Palace though, the second actual palace on this trip, a palace that still to this day is owned by the royal family of Jaipur, the first palace in India to ever be converted into a hotel in 1957, as I was on my way to RAMBAGH Palace, my primary question was, what's the difference? When you have hotels as grand as the Taj Mahal Palace in Mumbai, the Leela Palace in Bengaluru, Raffles in Udaipur, what does an actual palace offer that the others cannot? Well, I can tell you quite simply, it's all about the pace. I mentioned in my Oberoi Uday Villas video that it's very easy to become lost in the era of the Mewari architecture that makes up the hotel. Here, it's all about the era as well, but here, it's more that you become part of the era. It's almost as if, as you arrive, everything begins to slow down a little bit. You begin to see everything in parallel, as it is today as a hotel, and as it was meant to be when it was built as a royal residence. You quite literally are being transported to a different era, even if only for a short time. So, during our tour today, I invite you to give this one the time that it deserves. Around every corner, there seems to be a different chapter in the palace's history. In every bespoke detail, there's meaning. I welcome you to RAMBAGH Palace. One thing that you'll notice right away about the palace is that it's not really an imposing structure. It's not very tall, but it is sprawling, and it's designed in such a way that each side looks as if it could be the side for presentation. The exterior is constructed of sandstone and marble and features an endless supply of hand-carved marble jalis or lattice work, as well as cupolas and chhatris of varying scales and design. As with all videos in this India series, if you're new here, feel free to click the link above or in the description for my India playlist, which will have around 25 videos by year's end. And since this video is longer than normal, I assure you I won't be talking the entire time. After pulling up to the palace, you'll make your way up to the main reception hall with a small shower of rose petals along the way, before being checked in the lobby. You'll also be offered a pink mocktail in celebration of the Pink City, Jaipur. I haven't even mentioned yet that this is in fact a Taj hotel, which has been managing the location since 1972. Taj Hotels is known to be the strongest brand in India and is one of the arms of the mega Tata Group, the same group that recently reacquired and are now responsible for revamping Air India. Tata is the very definition of horizontal integration as well as vertical integration, so perhaps it's diagonal integration, and is held in high regard in India. If you'd like to know more about the establishment of Taj Hotels way back in 1902, please check out my Taj Mahal Palace Mumbai video, linked above and below. Do you ever wonder why I and other content creators constantly, as some of you would say, ask you to click that thumbs up button and subscribe? Well, we ask for two reasons. First, it's easy to forget. We all forget sometimes, myself included. Secondly, it truly is a powerful way to help the channel grow by increasing engagement. You're essentially telling YouTube, hey, this video is pretty high quality. So please, click it, subscribe, and share with friends and family. If you'd like to support my work even further, my Patreon is linked in the description below. Thanks very much in advance. Just through the other side of the reception area is the palace's famous inner courtyard, which is known for its Rajputana-style Italian gardens. Let me tell you a bit about the history of the palace. Located on a 47-acre estate, the palace was not always a royal residence. On the contrary, it was actually built, well, part of it was built, in 1835 for Saffron Bardon, the wet nurse of Prince Ram Singh II, and supposedly the favorite maid of the Maharani. Later, the estate was converted into a hunting lodge, taking advantage of the dense forest on the property, which of course is located right in the heart of Jaipur. Known as the Pink City, Jaipur was India's first planned city and was named for its founder, Maharaja Sawai Jai Singh II. Decades after its founding, the then ruler Maharaja Sawai Ram Singh II is the one who quite literally painted the town pink. He was a British crown loyalist and wanted to dress up the city to show off its progressive nature to the British dignitaries that were passing through. In 1887, the same year that Rambagh was converted into a hunting lodge, Ram Singh's chosen successor created a law to maintain the pink hue. Considering much of the city was already constructed from sandstone, which had a blush quality to it, it wasn't that big of an ask. In 1931, under the direction of Maharaja Sawai Man Singh II, Rambagh Palace was converted into his principal royal residence, after a full renovation led by Sir Samuel Swinton Jacob. One of the truly incredible things about the property can be seen in this corridor shot. A shot that in the vast majority of my videos is, well, just a corridor. And this is actually my first big point. We all know that I'm a wee bit obsessive about details, and here, there are so many to happily obsess over. These halls are beautifully and intricately decorated, and even more impressively, maintained. From the gilded walls to the golden peacocks, this place is absolutely pristine. And please, don't for a second think that I'm literally just talking about corridors. The design and craftsmanship here is really unparalleled. There are few other hotels on earth that can match Rambagh's true grandeur. So, we know a bit about the history, so now let's look at where we are. In the northwest of India, Jaipur is the capital of the state of Rajasthan. Jaipur's metro area has a population of around 4 million and makes it India's 10th largest city. From the airport to the hotel is a comfortable 20-minute drive along the city's wide boulevards. Zooming in, just about everything in this frame is part of the palace. For a bit of reference, we drove in on this driveway, the lobby is here, and we just saw here in the courtyard. And now we're going to go explore everything over here, focusing on the pools and lots and lots and lots of peacocks. Funny thing about exploring new places is that you learn a lot about yourself. For example, the fact that I'm like, 20% scared of peacocks, and they are everywhere. Now we're going to cross over to the other side of the driveway and head to the pools. If you could feel the intensity of the heat here, I think it would give you a better idea of just how impressive the landscaping throughout the grounds is. On the day when I was filming, the high temperature was 109 degrees, or 43 degrees Celsius. If it seems like we're trekking to get to the pools which are hidden and a bit out of the way, well, you're kinda correct. As the pool and later spa areas were a relatively modern addition to the palace grounds, they were built and landscaped in such a way that wouldn't detract from the original feel of the palace. The pool house sports a large indoor pool and is adorned with, of course, plenty of chandeliers, as all pool houses are. The MS being the initials of Man Singh, who made this his residence. And since this is a palace, and the term "one is enough" doesn't apply, there's also an outdoor pool and hot tub. Just behind the pool house is where you'd find the spa. Okay, now it's time to do a bit of exploring on the way to see my room. This side of the palace has lots of open spaces for events and weddings and the like. My room is one of those trio of windows up top. Alright, welcome to the most highly decorated hallways on Earth. As I mentioned, the palace was converted into a hotel in 1957, the first palace in India to do so, and when Taj took it over, the operation ended up offering 78 rooms and suites. For my stay, I had a double palace room, and I can say for sure the room did not disappoint. While I'm pretty sure that the colors are not exactly everyone's favorite, it's hard not to admit that this room has royalty written all over it. The rooms are designed with Mughal-era inspiration and will leave you wanting for nothing. Well, almost nothing. I'll let you explore the room, and I'll be back in a bit with my 3 favorite and least favorite details. Alright, let's get into the details, starting off with my three favorite. First up, we have quite possibly my favorite ever Do Not Disturb system. Not only do they have my favorite mechanical type switches like the Taj Lake Palace did, but they also have a clever stop and go system that you can additionally put on the outside of your door. Number 2 has got to be all about the textiles. Whether silk spun, jeweled, draped, or tufted. Not only are the fabrics themselves luxurious and perfectly of the period, they're also in impeccable condition. Last up is just the variety of beautiful materials used throughout the room. From the crafted wooden doors, to the mother of pearl accents, the bronze finishes, to the marble and gilded accents. They truly had royalty in mind when furnishing the hotel. As for my three least favorite details in the room, the first has got to be this less than impressive water pressure. I think I'm being generous. I assure you that this is with the tap fully open. Secondly is a rumbling noise that came from just down the hallway that you could actually feel the vibration of in the room. After a couple of calls and engineering, it was fixed. That, plus the shower pressure, had the front desk staff insist on knocking 25% off of my incidentals. Last up, well, I'm not even gonna say it. Rather, let me just preemptively respond to the comments I know I'm gonna get. If Taj and Oberoi, for that matter, offer this free and near instantaneous coffee delivery service in the mornings, as many people have said that they do in the comments on my other videos, might I just make one small suggestion for Taj then? Perhaps you could tell guests about it, if it does exist. I have been at 4 Taj properties. One had an espresso machine, one had French press coffee, and the past 2 have had only instant. When I called to ask for a machine of some sort, I was told that there wasn't one available, and I assure you, I was not told about the magic coffee delivery service. Anywho, let's keep it moving and make our way down to see a bit of a classic. Each late afternoon, the hotel offers horse and buggy and classic car rides around the property. Both the buggy and the Benz belong to Maharaja Man Singh. Okay, quick, before I move the camera, can you guess where I am? I'm on a train. This was in fact the princely state's royal train and has been converted into, wait for it, a pizza parlor, aptly named Steam. In addition to the outdoor seating, the passenger carriages have all been converted into indoor dining spaces. I'm not quite sure a pizza parlor was what I was expecting, but it is kinda cool nonetheless. Okay, now we're gonna move to the other side of the palace where all of the action is, including all of the other restaurants, bars, and lounges, all located in the Heritage Wing. First up, we have just a beautiful little lounge space just next to the weaving space, which is an actively used facility for the textiles on the property. And just next to that is the billiard room. If you're anyone of great importance, this is surely where you would arrive to the palace. This whole area with the gravel driveway is giving very, very, very British colonial vibes. Ahead, and on the right-hand side, guarded by a flock of soldiers, we have the Veranda Cafe, which is open throughout the day and the perfect spot to catch the nightly entertainment. And then we have the old school Polo Bar, which is very classic in design and has many of the Maharaja's trophies and memorabilia on display. As the sun is beginning to hang low, let's check out the flagship restaurant of the hotel, known to be one of the best, if not the best restaurant in all of Rajasthan. First though, this is the lobby for the two primary restaurants on site. It, in and of itself, is a beautiful place to be. So my second big point is about the service, and it begins with a little story. As I've said previously on the channel, I try to film as inconspicuously as possible, which in many cases means if a door is locked, I need to just keep going back and trying until it's not locked. I don't normally ask for special access to facilities, but this restaurant, Suvarna Mahal, had to be an exception since I wanted to film it in that late afternoon light. I wouldn't quite say I was snooping, but I was just looking for someone that might be able to open the door for me. I did find someone and asked if I could just take a few pictures inside. He said, of course, please hold on for a moment. What was likely 30 seconds later, he came back, apologized for making me wait, and gently pushed the door open as someone from the inside also opened it. He told me that he wanted to make sure that the restaurant would be opened for me by Mr. Kishan, who has been working in the restaurant for nearly 40 years, and prior to that, had worked for the Maharani herself. They both welcomed me inside and let me know that they were at my disposal for any questions I had about the history of the palace or the restaurant. If you've heard about Taj hotels before, likely you know two things. You've heard about the Taj Mahal Palace in Mumbai, and you know that Taj hospitality is legendary. And it is. But from my experience at least, it's the type of legendary that is probably best experienced in prolonged doses. 100%, I've never had a bad service experience at Taj. It has always been, at the very least, efficient and professional. But, at the same time, I'm not sure that I've ever felt quite enveloped in Tajness like everyone talks about, until being here. It's genuinely difficult to explain what it is and how it feels, but let me try. The staff here, all of them, take ownership of three things: the palace, the history, and the experience. Each member of staff owns those things in slightly different ways, and so what you get is an array of polished, but extremely personable and open custodians of the RAMBAGH Palace. As someone who has worked for and owned customer service focused businesses for years before starting this channel, I can tell you without a shred of a doubt that that kind of stewardship is the single greatest asset any customer facing business can have, period. And I'll add that that's also a two-way street. For them to have that level of ownership, it means that there is an equally great level of trust given to them by the company. And that level of trust is what inspired the ownership to begin with. So yes, Tajness is a thing, and here at the palace, guest truly is God. Just after sunset, a candle lighting ceremony takes place, followed by a cultural show. If I could change one thing, I would say the scale of the seating area should be reduced, or the lighting should be improved, just so that everyone around could have a better view of everything that's going on. So now, let's return to Suvarna Mahal for dinner. The frescoes on the ceiling are decorated to depict the four seasons, which also mirror the style of cooking at the restaurants, which highlights the cuisines of India's four former princely states: Rajasthan, Awadh, Punjab, and Hyderabad. On offer is a full menu divided into the styles of the four princely states, or a choice of one of two Thali menus. I chose the Suvarna Mahal Royal Thali. As you can imagine, it's quite a civilized affair. I even covered the knees and closed the toes. We started off with some papadums and chutney, and then moved on to the starters. My non-veg options were prawns with lemon juice and cardamom, and chicken with cumin cream, coriander, and garlic. For the thali itself, the main dishes were Lagan-style lamb, butter chicken masala, paneer dungar, and vegetables with cashew gravy and spinach. Accompanying that was dal Suvarna Mahal, raita, saffron basmati rice, and a selection of breads including a mint paratha, butter naan, and hari matar ka paratha. Then for desserts, we had a milk pancake in saffron syrup, a saffron bread pudding, and a traditional hawa, which is a semolina pudding. Overall, the full experience of the meal was second to none, but the main dishes themselves, while delicious and well prepared, were all pretty basic. So as I head back to my room for the night, I can tell you what might be my fourth favorite detail about my room. Besides the beautiful way that they return my laundry, they also set up a foot bath, complete with rose petals and bath salts, which this guy that wears flip-flops 93% of the time was very appreciative of. Alright, let's head to breakfast. Breakfast is served in the absolutely stunning Rajput room. On offer is a small buffet as well as an extensive a la carte menu. As we look around, let me tell you my third big point. Quite simply, it's worth it. What does that mean? It means it's worth going out of your way to visit, perhaps well out of your way. In 2023, RAMBAGH Palace was voted as TripAdvisor's #1 hotel in the world. Now, I'm not going to get into my thoughts about TripAdvisor, but I will say, they might be right about this one. The reason to visit is the full package, including that service. You'll be taken care of, you'll be enriched, and you'll leave feeling as if you left a little piece of yourself behind. Perhaps the most transportive thing about the hotel is in fact that service and the value that it adds. If you enjoy historic properties, you'll enjoy this place. If you enjoy luxury hotels, you'll enjoy this place. If you enjoy meaningful and informed conversation with staff, you'll enjoy this place. And finally, if you've ever started a sentence with "back in my day," you'll enjoy this place. For breakfast, I ordered the beautiful French toast and the Akori eggs, and after a great conversation with the restaurant manager about tourism in India, he twisted my arm, gently, into ordering a dosa as well. As I begin to wrap this up, we'll walk through the spa grounds and I'll give you a peek at the fitness center. The fact of the matter is, it is rare, far too rare, for a hotel of this caliber to live up to and possibly exceed the exceptionally high expectations that you likely have coming into it. I myself am pretty good at tempering expectations. I do my absolute best to look at everything from a blank slate, so that I can give you the most balanced take possible for all my videos. But I'll admit, with the amount of attention that this property gets, even I had pretty high expectations, and they were pretty much blown out of the water. In fit, form, function, faculty, and philosophy, the Taj RAMBAGH Palace is royalty fit for a world traveler. If you have the Golden Triangle of Jaipur, Delhi, and Agra, or the City of Lakes Udaipur on your radar, here's my suggestion. Start your trip here. Make this your first major stop. It's city center, there's plenty to see, but it's also a world away, and it's the perfect introduction to likely the rest of the beautiful properties that you'll visit in India. Fair warning though, you might be spoiled forever. I really do hope that you enjoyed this video today. It was certainly a labor of love to make. If you did, please be sure to click that thumbs up and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss the 4 more India hotel videos I have coming up. But first, I'll see you next time for a very special video in Singapore Airlines first class suites. Oh, and thanks for watching until the end.